found that one of my jobs in the confessional as a priest, as a confessor, is not only to help people to overcome their sins, but also to encourage them along the way, to help them to see that God is with them in their struggles and to see that He wants to give them grace to keep going. And one of the ways that I can do that is, sometimes if people come multiple times and they've confessed with me multiple times, not that I'm revealing anything here, but just to show them how they have progressed. Because sometimes we get down on ourselves because we're not to where we want to be yet. We're not to that level of holiness that we want to be. And that's a good desire. That's something that we should be yearning for. But to look at the fruits of how we have grown so far, to say, these are good things that have happened. God has been with me throughout these past times and He's helped me to grow. At least to stop doing this, or maybe to start going out in this way and to showing forth His love and mercy in different areas of my life, to be more charitable here or there. It's a great practice for us, I think, to always look at how we have grown in our spiritual lives, for us to look at how God has been with us throughout our time here on earth. When I do that, I constantly give thanks to God because I can see how His providence has led me even to being right here, right now. Jesus says today in the gospel, beware of false prophets who come to you as wolves but in sheep's clothing. People who preach things that are not true, but they try to do so in ways that are devious, that makes you want to believe that, but it's not really true. But He says, by their fruits you will know them. By the fruits of what they do, by the fruits of how they act, by the fruits of what their lives look like, as well as the fruits of these actual teachings that they teach. Jesus knows that there are people who are going to teach contrary to Him or who are going to try to twist His words. And so He says that great piece, gives us that great piece of spiritual insight and discernment to say it's by the fruits that you will know them. Today we celebrate the feast of Saint Irenaeus of Lyon, who was a saint early on in the church. I think he was born around the year 130, so only about 100 years after Jesus died. And he worked tirelessly to refute the errors of the Gnostic heresy, which had a large following and was one that included a lot of different things, but essentially when it came to Christianity, Gnosticism denied like the divinity of Christ, more like there was some eternal sort of being that inhabited Jesus, that spirit inhabited Jesus. But we say that Jesus is truly God, truly man, that Jesus is God, not that He is infused by God or something. It was something that needed to be refuted, and it's still something that can rear its ugly head today, that sort of Gnostic way of thinking. So we have to see the fruits of these things. That sort of thinking, that heresy led to a lot of people being overly concerned with their own personal pieties and really personal asceticism, having to be really hard on themselves. That isn't the way of Christ, but rather to help ourselves to grow in our spiritual life, but also to do so with joy, because God is the giver of all good gifts. So today, let's ask the Lord to help us to have good spiritual discernment and to see the fruits of what we do and how we pray, so that by those fruits, we will know the truth of God.